Hello and welcome to the Dynamo Football Book Club. My name's Alistair Bond and I'm joined by my co-host, a descendant of kings, Johnny Coughlin. Johnny, what king are you descended from?
The High Kings of Munster, according to my some family tree thing.
Well, you told me to put this in, Johnny, so I thought you
I know
could
I never.
I'm sure your listeners, he did. He gave
why is it relevant?
I'm descended from kings. He's a liar, listeners. Well, anyway, it's a nice segue because this week we are doing the king of soccer, the king of all, Pelé. Pelé, my story.
Rivelino para Jair, correu pela ponta esquerda, saiu Paquete, passou por ele, lança a pelota Pelé, Pelé dominou, Carlos Alberto está livre, correu, Carlinhos, atirou,
Pelle.
Pelé.
It's Pelle.
Yeah, he says it rhymes with Lair, Pelé. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm going to say Pelé. I'm going to say Pelé. I'm not going to say Pele like Americans say, but I'm going to say Pelé like...
I'm going to say Pelle.
All right, I want you to keep that up all the way through, every time you said Pelé. All right, very good. So, Johnny, what did you know about Pelé before you read this book?
Oh, yeah. I know all the main bits about Pelé, the bits that are in the book. Because there's very little else in that book, is there? I was thinking someone should really write a good book about Pelé. That's what I was thinking when I was reading this book. It's not a terrible book. I like Pelé. He seems like a nice fellow. The book is not terrible, but there's not much in it, is there?
No, there's not. It's not a deep dive into Pelé's psyche, that's for sure. Do you know he doesn't drink, Johnny? He mentions it once or twice.
Did you know he was so religious?
No, I didn't know he was so religious. He has a peculiar relationship with God. I mean, within the first chapter, he's like, "Oh, Jesus, why do you forsake me? Why do you punish me so? Because Brazil have lost the World Cup." That's a weird one. And there's another time where he's like, "God, why are you punishing me? I never drank or smoked." Well, that's not how it works. Like, I'm not going to have a cigarette, so I expect good things today, God. No, not happening, huh? No, I didn't know he was so religious, but I'm not surprised.
I can understand. And what's nice about his religion is that he's very, very grateful, man. He's very grateful to God. That comes across in the book. And I was thinking, on one hand, it says an awful lot about Pelé in his favor, but it also says it's a positive and a negative that someone can be so successful and remain that boring.
Yeah, there's a degree of truth to that. There was halfway through the book, I was thinking, oh, this reminds me a bit of Pushcast. And honestly, I was like, oh, the lovely humility of a man. We've lost something. I think we've lost something as a society. But then in the last chapter, he's raging about there not being a museum dedicated to Pelé in Santos. And he's like, you're not that fucking humble, are you, lad? Because sometimes he really is very humble. I mean, I'll tell you what, I believe the children are a future. This is very, very 80s schmaltz, isn't it? He does it all for the little children. In a way, nobody says that anymore. Like, that seems a very 80s thing. In the 80s, everybody did everything for little children. And now everybody does fuck all.
Yeah, well, maybe people are more suspicious of that now. The thing I think that is challenging reading this book, well, it's two things and they're related. The first is because, Pelé didn't drink, he didn't smoke. He did have a particular vice, which we can get to later, but it's not something he talks about more than he is obliged to.
No, he certainly doesn't. Yes, this particular vice, which we've agreed to talk about later on the podcast. Yes, he certainly is what he doesn't really want to confront that too heavily, like that particular vice. We'll let you guess as to what that vice is, folks. You might be able to.
So what he really, maybe as much as any of the books we've done, it really comes across in this book that Pelé loves football. Like, he really loves it. And he talks a lot about the matches. And as we've said repeatedly, that's rarely that interesting. Because how can you really offer any insights? You're just kind of describing stuff that happened, and you kind of know what happened most of the time. So that's in itself a problem, but it's also
If I can
problematic.
interject there, Johnny, I mean, he takes that up a level. He then goes to describe matches at subsequent World Cups, which he's not involved in at all. At great length, it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, the 94 World Cup, let's go through each group game. Let's not, actually. Let's just, let's just cut to the chase. Thanks.
But the big problem is he's talking about games that Santos played in Brazil in the 1960s. I'm definitely not interested in that, Pelé. I'm not interested.
All right. Well, okay. There's a couple of things I'd like to say about that. So, Pelé, 1,280 career goals. That's a lot. And say Ronaldo is, 20 away from 1,000, I think, as we speak. Ronaldo's record is way, way, way better, Johnny. It's way better. Those games in Brazil in the fucking 50s and 60s, in his little state championship, he was literally playing schools and shit. Like, he's counting goals. He scored against fucking Plymouth Argyle on, like, tours with Santos. Like, he did not score 1,280 goals. He didn't. Ronaldo is the king. Don't read it, folks. But, like, the whole 1,200, that felt wrong. But, like, the whole 1,280 goals, it's just, what goals are being included in that? Like, some crazy, crazy goals.
Well, he scored 23 goals in 6 games.
Yeah, but there was also other times where he got sent off by the ref, and then the ref got sent off, and he was allowed back on. I mean, his whole career was kind of like a carnival. It was weird. He was telling, like, one game, like, oh, we won a penalty shootout. The ref forgot to let the other team take all their penalties. But, hey, the result stood. Oh, no, it didn't. I think they agreed to draw the game there. But, yeah, that old Brazilian, like, state championship back in the day, they were playing some low-grade teams. I mean, do you know how it works, Johnny? Because now they have the national championship.
Yeah.
So your Corinthians and Santoses and your Palmeiras play your Flamengos and your Fluminense.
So he wouldn't have played against Garrincha, right? So they would have been in different leagues because he was playing in Sao Paulo, I guess. That state.
Yeah, the Paulista League, and that was the Rio League. So no, he would have been playing like, the equivalent 4th division teams, like week in, week out, like really minor teams. So, I don't want to take anything away from the boy. 3 World Cups and all that, but 1,280 goals, maybe. But you know what I mean? If Ronaldo's going to count the goals he scored in friendlies and shit, he's got him. He's got him, Johnny. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but whatever. It's still a lot of goals. He has one regret from his international career with Brazil. Do you remember what that is, Al? One regret.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to have regrets like this, Johnny? I was trying to come up with a fucking comparison, and it's like, I spent the night with Charlotte Johansson, but I didn't
I think you should come up with a different analogy.
Oh, I don't know, but none of them have the same impact. Just bleep it out. Bleep it. Bleep what I said.
I wouldn't bleep anything.
He's won 3 World Cups. Like, honestly, that is something I'd want to do. If you could say, so what things would you have liked to have done more than anything else? I would say pretty much that.
Yeah, so I guess it would be the equivalent of saying that, like, you've been a rock star, but you never got a number 1 in Belgium or something like that. For all of your golden records and your platinum records, you never made the top 5 in the Netherlands. That's kind of the equivalent of.
All right, there we go. All right, so yeah, I can. It doesn't come across as something.
It's not shocking. That's why.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll let you work that out in the edit. But anyway, the point being is he wanted to score a bicycle kick in the World Cup. Oh, but he never got to do it. Boo! You won 3 World Cups, you greedy bastard. Oh, but this is that's how he ends his chapters. Like, some people may say this is crazy, but this is my regret. Oh, yeah. And also, on the subject of bicycle kicks, we've got a new contender for the first ever bicycle kick. Now it's Petronillo. Petronillo was the first person to invent the bicycle kick, according to Pelé. I put it to you, Johnny, nobody fucking invented the bicycle kick, and that it's just a reaction that should a ball be travelling about head height with your back to goal, anyone's going to try and do that at any time.
Well, anyone with a certain type of athleticism. Have you ever seen a bicycle kick in the flesh?
No.
I remember playing a five-a-side when I was about 19, and a fella did it indoors. And I'd actually seen a couple of overhead kicks where people kind of do it at kind of a falling rate, and that was impressive in itself. But this guy really got up into the air and did a full-on, like, really athletic kind of gymnastic thing. It was amazing. Like, there's only certain types of people who can do that, and I'm going to surprise you and tell you I'm not one such person.
Yeah, nor I, Johnny. I mean, the first bicycle kick I ever saw, and I think I might have mentioned this before, was Nigel Clough, not the great athlete. And he scored it, and I'm pretty sure it was against Luton. This could all be false. But he got up like holding his back. Oh, fucking hell. Like sort of slouching away, and sexy it did not look. Just, me back, me poor back.
But there's a difference.
Goal.
There's a difference between the bicycle kick and the overhead kick, because the bicycle kick, you have to do the pedaling of the pedals, right? Your legs have to do that thing where you kind of flick with the other leg. Because, we say like Niall Quinn could do an overhead kick, but I bet he couldn't do a bicycle kick.
Or Niall Quinn, like, just so inelegant. He couldn't do it. You can't do it elegantly if you're that tall. There's just no way.
Yeah. Let's talk about this book. He's born in 1940, so we're going way back when. And I suppose what we want to talk about, what Pelé is his name. He's from, first of all, before his name, he's from near Rio, but he's kind of a country bumpkin.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, still loves his farm out in the sticks. That's
Not a
where he
farm,
likes
man.
being best.
His ranch.
His ranch.
He's a cowboy. Are Brazilians into that whole cowboy thing? That's the thing.
Yeah, I think so. Cowboy boots and cowboy hats. That's very much a Mexican thing. Like, there's loads of like Mexican lads bowling around Walmart, like with like really fancy cowboy hats on and like really, really fancy boots, like just bowling around Walmart in it. It's quite a sight to behold.
How much would someone spend on one of these hats?
Hundreds, Johnny. Hundreds and hundreds. It's a status symbol.
Really?
Like your boots and your hats are a thing. It's a thing.
It's quite
like gaucho. Is it gaucho? That's what they call him. Maybe I'm pulling that out of my arse.
No, it is gaucho. Yeah. Anyway, he's a country bumpkin fellow, and his name is Edson Nascimento. Edson Arantes Do Nascimento. I'm trying to say it as a Brazilian now. Arantes, not Aranches or whatever, as we would say it, as it's spelled. But what I thought was fun, and he could have made the book shaped around it a bit more, and it would have worked as an effective literary device, is he has these different personalities, doesn't he? He's Pelé. But first he was Edson. And then at home, he's Dico to his family. But before any of that, he was Don Dinjo's son. So I thought that was good, and he could have played with that a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, he loves the dichotomy of his life. Like, at home, he remains Edson, a misspelling of Edison from Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
But his public persona is Pelé. Public persona is pushing it, isn't it? Like, it's not like he's Mr. Razzmatazz, is he? Like, I mean, he's not. Ladies and gentlemen, to light up a stage as Pelé just comes on. Hello, I am King of Soccer. It's like, woo, it's Pelé. Like, I mean, it's not.
But he is quite gregarious, isn't he? Pelé.
Yeah, in terms of certainly in his football. And yeah, he's a musician. He loves to play guitar. He is, as we've hinting towards, a ladies' man.
Yeah, but so this probably didn't jump out to you quite as much as it jumped out to me. But he initially didn't like the name Pelé. There's been a lot of discussion about where it came from. And one of the theories is that it came from the Irish word for football, which is pel. Did that one just pass you by entirely? Because it sure didn't pass me by.
You know what, Johnny? It honestly did. How the fuck would that come about? No, but there's another explanation anyway, isn't there? Which he goes with. Yeah. But let's explore yours, Johnny. So an Irish came over.
So he says it in the book. He says there's various theories. One of them was that it was from the Irish word for football. I was thinking, is that likely in Brazil in 1940, whatever? But he
This is
thinks
what I'm trying to interrogate, Johnny. Like, how would that theory even get
don't
started?
ask me. It was in the book.
But, well, we reveal the real reason he's called Pelé.
Because there was a goalkeeper in his father's team called Bile, and he used to like Bile, and he would be whatever shouting for Bile, and he came to be known as Pelé on the back of this. Anyway, that's it. And
Yeah,
Don Gino, his father was a footballer, and Pelé goes to some lengths to tell us that he was very, very good. I think maybe not as good as Pelé thinks, but his father was a striker, and he never played for Brazil, but Pelé indicates that he was close enough to, but he got injured early young, and he retired.
No, but he really, was in awe of his father, though. And there was a time when he eventually joined Santos, and some of the players had heard of his dad, and he was just so pumped for that, which is very sweet, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
The mother, very strict, very Christian lady. They weren't allowed to do anything. They were sir and mum in the house, like very, very respectful, very God-fearing, apart from with one thing. You see, the thing is with Pelé, he complains he had these troublesome hormones. Oh, these hormones just making his life hell. His hormone. You're the only one, Pelé. No one else has them. No one else has these troublesome hormones. I wonder how you cope. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so really, really good football. I mean, standard childhood stuff like boom, boom, boom. Met his missus young. Guess what, folks? She had no interest in football. Drink. Yeah, they never do. They never do.
Yeah.
But he met her when she was like 14 and he was 17. Very sweet, youthful relationship. They got married about 8 years later after he was very successful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all of his childhood, right? He had a mum, dad, he got a brother. Boom. And a sister. Boom.
His brother gave up footballer. Was a footballer. He signed for Santos, but he gave it up to pursue a career in law. Shouldn't have done that, buddy. Stick to the football.
Well, I mean, that would be hard, though, wouldn't it? Like, you're only good. Well, I'll tell you who my brother is. Oh, you're going to be great. Oh.
He did this stood out to me. So he was a precocious footballer. He was playing for Santos by the time he was 15, 16.
Yeah.
And he needed to fill out because he was a little whippet. And, he changed his diet. He started going to the gym a lot. And then soon enough, his thighs were as thick as his waist. That is bonkers.
I mean, how does that even work? Again, like,
aren't they sticking out of his waist? Wouldn't there be not enough space?
Or they just come out at a massive angle? Yeah, I believe he got big thighs. I believe that. But yeah, as big as your waist, I thought of that. It's just not biologically possible. Of course, I'm thinking of a waist my size, so I guess it certainly is possible. Like, man, if he had thighs as big as my waist, hats off to you, lad. Hats off to you.
But yeah, so he played for Santos, which is near Sao Paulo, but it's on the beach.
Yeah, well, I'd like to tell you now, I know it quite well, Johnny. When I spent my year in Brazil, I lived in Sao Paulo, and my girlfriend's family lived in Guarujá, which is where Pelé now has a holiday home. And let me tell you, Johnny, some of those fucking holiday homes in Guarujá, they're unbelievable. The beaches, oh my God. We went my girlfriend took us down to where Fat Ronaldo's house was. And you can access the beaches. They're unbelievable, Johnny. It's the nicest place in the whole world. It's
really
so nice. Yeah, Santos is super nice as well. Because I spent 10 months in Sao Paulo, and Sao Paulo, folks, is not nice. It's not at all nice. But Santos is really oldie, worldy. It's quite quaint. It doesn't have the same terror of crime as you do at every step of the way in Sao Paulo. It's really, really nice. And he's talked about, he takes the bus journey from Sao Paulo to Santos, and it being and that is a wonder of the world sort of thing, Johnny. You travel through these mountains, and it's absolutely stunning. Yeah, he lived in a beautiful place, and he was happy there on the whole, right? He was. He loved playing for Santos.
I think he was just a happy guy, Pelé. Yeah, and gets into the team quickly, scores goals. Everybody loves him. It's just easy for Pelé. Just easy.
Yeah, he's just good at everything, isn't he? But he says at one point, he's fast, he's got great reactions, he's just good at everything. He's one drawback, he's short-sighted, apparently, Pelé.
Later on in his career, he indicates or kind of implies that, no, he says that there's a journalistic agenda to get him out of the team in 1970. And one of the journalists, this is quite a scene he painted, and there wasn't many scenes like this in the book, I felt, but there was a journalist who said that he was short-sighted, and this is why he shouldn't be in the team. And
this was the 1970, isn't it, Johnny?
Yeah. So then after they won, this journalist is in the changing rooms and gets down on his knees and begs Pelé for forgiveness.
In the shower. He's soaking through.
That was nice, wasn't it?
Well, he begs Pelé forgiveness, and Pelé says, "Only God can forgive, and I'm not God." Oh, burn!
Yeah, that is a burn. I forgot that bit. But yeah, he goes to the World Cup in 1958, where his nickname in the Brazil team was the German. Didn't expect that, did you?
That's what everyone called me when I was in Brazil. That's what people shouted at me, like beggars in the street. They shout like "Alemão, Alemão," like because I looked like I was German. Because I'm blonde. Well, I'm not blonde, but I mean I was sort of blonder than the average Brazilian. Like, but yeah, that's what people shout. I think that's what they shout at white people generically. So how Pelé got that nickname, I don't know. I guess it was irony.
Yeah, he said that they all kind of had nicknames for that World Cup, and we're familiar with these guys. We're familiar with these guys, because we did the Grinch book, and the Grinch book is just a much better book, isn't it?
Oh yeah, infinitely better. But Grinch is just a more interesting character, a much more tragic character. I mean, that's the problem with this book, right, Johnny? Because a book needs a struggle and a resolution. And let's face it, I mean, like, he comes from a poor background, but his football career was not really a struggle, was it? He was in the Santos team at 15, kicked ass for 15 years, won the World Cup 3 times. There wasn't he didn't really struggle with injuries or anything at all. It was just like success. The 66 World Cup, that's like his bête noire, like that was his Vietnam when they didn't prepare very well and went out in the quarterfinals. That was like the only time he really tasted, defeat like normal football players would.
There's no arc. You're absolutely right. The only thing really nasty that happens to him in life is his son going to jail later on for drugs. And he went to jail again after this book.
I don't drink and don't smoke. That's when it came in. But
yeah.
The irony, me, who's never done drugs, and my son, he's gone to jail for drugs. And then did you see when he was let out of jail? It was like his son admitted himself into a drug rehabilitation center. Oh, well, big man for marijuana usage. Bollocks! Bollocks as if for marijuana usage. Who goes to rehab for weed? Come on, you live in Brazil, mate. You think we're going to buy that? Bollocks! Oh, I just can't stop smoking weed. Got to go to a rehab center. I mean, it's so laughable. Absolutely ridiculous.
He went to jail again. He was sentenced later to 33 years for laundering money for, big drug syndicates. That was reduced to 12 years. And he's out now, but that was later after the book. 33 years. My God. Like, if you are Pelé's son, I'm sure it's not always easy. He himself was a footballer, a goalkeeper. So I'm sure there was a lot of pressure on him and all the rest of it, but you don't need to be doing that. You don't need to launder money for those boys.
No, I guess he was trying to prove himself. I mean, yeah, it's a very sad story. It really makes Pelé really, really sad. And yeah, it's a terrible story.
And people shouldn't make Pelé sad.
No, because that's it. Bottom line, I mean, he's a good egg, isn't he, old Pelé? He's a good egg. He likes a pound note, and
he has one vice. Yeah, he has a certain vice. Yeah, but no, absolutely. And I think through all of that, it does say something about him. Through all of that success, that he seemed to kind of maintain a certain sense of himself. I was in, he's consistent. He never went off the rails. He didn't drink. He didn't smoke. He did those erectile dysfunction ads, which came up in the book, which was fun. All
right, the erectile dysfunction ads. I watched one of those adverts. Have you watched one? This is the wording. So it's like a picture of a man, looking all sheepish around his missus. Oh, well, he goes, many men suffer from erectile dysfunction. Now there's a solution. Give your doctor a call if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction. I would. I would if it was me, but it's not. But I would if I did have a problem down there, which once again, I reiterate, I do not. I would. I think they must have been going like, can you not say that? And he's like, I absolutely insist. I'll do his advert, but I'm not having people thinking I'm a limp-dick. I will not have that. Pelé is king.
So they win the World Cup in Sweden in 1958, and he's telling his father over radio, asking him if he saw the match, and telling him about meeting King Gustav of Sweden. Do you know what I find funny, actually, Al? People from old times always feel the need to tell you that there were no mobile phones then. That's something that people always say, like they expressly say. There were no mobile phones in 19.
Yeah, because I was looking through the pictures, wondering where the selfie was with old King Gustav. I was like, what are you doing, Pelé? Come on, you missed a real moment here. But, no mobiles in 1958. Makes sense.
Yeah, so there was no mobiles, so he had to speak to his father by radio the day after, similar times.
There were young Swedish girls, though, so that was nice. Had a lovely little relationship with a lovely little blonde chick called Elena. Very nice. She pops up later to give Pelé the opportunity to say something disgustingly pervy. All right. Yeah, but he does have a nice little relationship with a lovely Swedish girl out there. That's nice.
And then in 1962, they got to Chile. This was when Garrincha got the bird in Chile. Didn't he get the minor bird in Chile? And Pelé is the one who introduced Garrincha to Ilse Suarez, and there was some rumors about Pelé having a relationship with her because, as we mentioned, Pelé has a certain vat. Anyway, he insisted there was nothing between him and Ilse Suarez. But what I thought was quite nice was whoever was in charge of the Brazilian FA, or was it the manager of the team, was extremely superstitious and insisted on doing everything exactly as it was done in 1958, down to getting the same airplane and the same pilot and the same guy. He always wore the same suit. I thought all that stuff was nice because it's just a little bit quirky, but yeah. And obviously it worked. They won in 58 and they won again in 1962. Do you know what was funny as well? Was it in 62 they played against Czechoslovakia and he got injured, and the Czechs were so nice because they weren't allowed subs in the time, so he had to stay on the pitch, and the ball would come to him and they would just let him kind of pounce around with the ball and wouldn't tackle him until that play just kind of petered out. He was saying that they were extremely sportsmanlike. That's one way of putting it.
Again, I just couldn't work that out, Johnny. Do you just like lay off it? Just let him pass it. You don't let him. I didn't really understand how that worked, but yep. Fair play to those Czech lads.
They didn't smash him into the ground, I think is what he's saying. When they had the opportunity to hurt him more, I think, and they didn't.
Yeah, well, more fool them. But yeah, again, win again. So well done. And he's 21 now, 21 years old, 2 World Cups. Fuck off, Pelé. Jesus.
No bicycle kicked off. Poor devil.
Exactly right.
Then Santos, goal. Santos, they toured a lot, didn't they, Santos?
Well, this is it. Remember, I think it was last season, like after the last Premier League game, Spurs flew off to Australia to do like a tour of Australia.
That's right, yeah.
And everyone was like, fucking modern football, like absolutely insane, crazy. It's like these lads, they wouldn't think nothing of that. Like a first class flight to Australia, they'd love it. These lads were just playing everywhere. Oh, let's have some friendlies in Senegal. They'll be big money spinners. I would imagine, 60 Senegal. As I say, there was one he played against Plymouth at Argyle. What the fuck? How?
They went to Nigeria, and I think this is a well-known fact about Pelé. They went to Nigeria, and the Biafran War was kind of a hiatus for a little while, so they could play a match.
Yeah, I just want to go. I mean, that's typical you with your bloody wars, Johnny. I want to go back to Plymouth and just be like, if you were in Plymouth the night that Santos FC played Plymouth Argyle and you didn't fucking sell your grandfather to get a ticket to that game, shame on you. Like, do you watch the old Plymouth Pelé game last night? Couldn't be bothered. Stayed in and watched Coronation Street. What the fuck is wrong with you? Pelé in Plymouth. I mean, What else has ever come out of Plymouth? Nothing.
I saw Santos under 23s play against the Vietnam under 23s in Ho Chi Minh with my father.
Oh, eh? Who won?
Who won? I'm going to say Santos won, but I can't remember.
I'd imagine.
And then, as you said, 1966 World Cup was a farce, right? And they should have won. They were way better than England. That's what I took away from everything.
What?
But it was just bad organisation from the Brazilians. It was what done for them. They got beaten by Eusebio. That's what happened, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's right. But really, they got beaten by the Brazilian FA because they didn't let the Beatles play for them. The Beatles apparently loved football. There's absolutely no evidence of that in any of their lives, right? At all. But apparently they wanted to come and play for the Brazilian team, but the Brazilian FA wouldn't let them. And that's why they didn't win the World Cup.
That's why Ireland haven't won the World Cup.
You never got Westlife out there playing football, Mark.
We've never had the Beatles come and perform for us, for the team.
Oh, just a couple of quick things like on that. So, yeah, Pelé never ever played at Wembley. That's wild. And Pelé was never captain of his team. I did think that was interesting.
It didn't take penalties as well.
Yeah, he didn't take penalties. That's not. Imagine how many goals. Well, as he says, how many goals would he score if he took penalties?
Well, you don't count them anyway, so it doesn't really matter how many he would have scored. Although his 1,000th goal was Paladinia, it's a penalty.
And what's that?
I can't remember. I wrote it down.
A Paladinia. Well, oh, that's where you do the stutter step, right? It's
yes.
The stutter step. That's what
that's what it was. And it was invented by Carlos Alberto.
Oh, Carlos Alberto. That's another man whose marriage Pelé ruined when he when he introduced him to Terezinha Sodré. Yep, and he subsequently left his wife. Yeah. Pelé's hormones were spreading to his teammates like those troublesome hormones are.
Yeah, he did take the penalty for the 1,000th goal, but he doesn't generally. But he met the Queen, like the Queen, Al. She said that she was a Liverpool fan, which
huge if true, Johnny. Huge if true,
It's not, apparently. I checked. I think she just probably named a team that she knew.
Yeah, that sounds about right. He was successful at the time.
Yes. Come and play for Liverpool. Come and play for insert team here. But her grandson is a Villa fan, a proper Villa fan. He goes to matches and stuff.
I once nearly got... Old man was very, very aggressive with me as he argued that the Queen was a Reading fan. And that's why we were nicknamed the Royals. He was really drunk and he was really angry because I was laughing at him. I don't know if you call Reading. No, some bloke. Some unnamed man. I don't think you should support Reading. No.
It does seem more fitting than Liverpool.
Yeah, royalty would not support Liverpool, of course. Come on.
But how did William end up a Villa fan? He went to, he's from London.
Picked his name out of a hat. I think Prince Andrew's a Liverpool fan.
Is that true?
No, but suits him, doesn't it?
It's in the Epstein files.
Forest do not appear in the Epstein files at all. I'm delighted to tell you, not at all. They did a rundown of all the Premier League teams. You know which team features most of the Epstein files?
No,
sort of works. Fulham, bloody London elites, aren't they? Eating children.
Al Fayed.
Well, there you go. Absolutely, that's it. Then. God knows what they've got in that jacuzzi up there. What's Hugh Grant doing in that boardroom?
So in the 1970s, they had to get a new manager because the old manager was a former journalist who kept getting cross with everyone. And they prayed a lot, the 1970 team.
Yeah, well, he said that was crucial to it. You see, I mean, in a way, I think this was a role reversal. The wrong team lost. England should have won that if it wasn't for Alf Ramsey's unfortunate comments. These featured, so I looked him up, Johnny. Mainly they were angry because he called the Argentinians animals in 1966. But Alf Ramsey also said you can't trust anything out there. You can't trust the food and you can't trust the people. And here's a fun story. So he had exported to Mexico pallets of frozen Findus food, which the England team could eat when they were out there, so they wouldn't be poisoned by the Mexican food. But In rage, Mexican customs official destroyed the Findus foods. So the England team didn't have frozen Findus foods to eat at the 1970 World Cup. That's why we lost. That's why Peter Bonetti was so useless. Oh, he didn't have his frozen Findus foods. That's nice.
That is nice. And
all right, so we got a lot of this. All right. Actually, I learned some things there. Sorry, Johnny, you were speaking.
Well, I've got a question for you. Let's see if it's amongst the things that you learned. Who was the first, I don't know, maybe still the only, but certainly the first player to score in every round of the World Cup?
Jairzinho.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's fun saying it, isn't it? It's just fun saying it. Jairzinho.
Yeah, and so maybe you told me this before, so Sao Paulo, SAO, that's a San Paulo is how you would say that.
San Paulo, it's like a sound almost.
So Tostão is Tostan.
Yeah, that's right, I think.
Because I listened to the audiobook and he was calling them Dustan. I was thinking, it's Tostão. That's how you say that, Al.
Yeah. So there's a lot of description here, and this is what's funny about it, right? There is 2 pages of descriptions of the shot he made from the halfway line, which missed. 2 pages about a shot he took, which he missed with. This just hits a bit differently now, Johnny, because you see goals from the halfway line all the fucking time, don't you? It's not like, woo! It's not like some lad's going to be like, oh, do you remember that time I took a shot from the halfway line? I did miss. No one's going to talk about that now, but there's 2 full pages of Pelé shooting from the halfway line and failing to score. There's another, few paragraphs about him jumping over the ball and then missing. Yeah, all the great bits of Pelé's skills. And there's that header. That's what he says. The things I'm most famous for are taking the shot from the halfway line, missing, doing the little step over of confusing the keeper and then missing, and then having the header, which Gordon Banks saves. That's the things he's most famous for in the 1970 World Cup. All of them failures.
Yeah. Yeah. And not doing a bicycle kick.
And not doing that, yeah. I tell you what, though, Johnny, I never knew, and I know this is just a big gap in my hole, but that famous Carlos Alberto goal was in the final. I had no idea, Johnny. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
It's the last goal, isn't it? It's the 4th goal.
Yeah, the last goal. I had no idea. Imagine that in a final. Fucking, I had no idea, Johnny. I really didn't.
But also, he says that they had identified the avenue. They'd figured out that the fullback kept coming in field, so they knew that there was space. They could draw the fullback in, and Pelé knew without looking, he knew that if he played the ball out there, that Carlos Alberto would be coming in. And he rolls that ball with it's such a beautiful pass to unleash an absolute rocket of a shot. That's a beautiful goal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's got everything, hasn't it? 'Cause it's got a little dribble in the first. Yeah, somebody beats somebody, and then there's some lovely passing, and it's an excellent fit. It's got everything you'd want. Yeah, if only Pelé could have bicycle kicked it in at the end, that would have been perfect. If it just come along at knee height and yeah. All right.
But that was it. He had done it all then, and then they get to keep the trophy, and he was now a citizen of the world.
Citizen of the world. Now, talking of world things, Johnny, you mentioned that before. The Queen, he name checks Billy Bremner, George Best, Jimmy Greaves, Bobby Charlton a lot, and Bobby Moore, and the Queen. Do you think he names checks these people in every edition of the book? Are they in the Brazilian edition? Or is it just like Pelé being before every single World Cup final? Who do you think is going to win this World Cup? And him, depending what country he's in, going France, Spain, England, Italy. I reckon he just put him in I reckon in the Italian version, he's like, oh, there's some wonderful players in Italy. Wonderful players. Someone like him or him.
Well, he does talk about...
I reckon he's pandering.
Oh, he does talk about Paolo Rossi in this book. He does talk about those checks. He's just got a lot of good vibes for people out there.
Well, talking of good vibes as well, I'm going back a bit here, Johnny. Do you remember the bit where one of our previous golden boy, Puskás, bottled a centre-half? That was fun.
I think I read that at the time.
Puskás we didn't see from his book.
Yeah, I think I read that at the time, though. I don't believe it.
Really? Wonderful man.
Yeah.
So then, so he's like, now, my football career is hanging up. And he really thinks he's going on to be a businessman, right? He's like, I'm hanging on my boots and I'm putting on my suit for the business world. He sounds like he really wanted to go and work in an office somewhere, 9 to 5. He's like, well, that's that done now. But that doesn't work out for him. He makes a lot of bad business deals.
Yeah, he seems like he seems quite gullible, or maybe it's just that. Remember with Keith Gillespie, and Keith Gillespie was always like just letting other people make decisions for him. I think maybe there was a bit of that going on with Pelé as well, and some of these guys are just like, you're giving me power of attorney. Are you sure? Yes.
He's naive and negligent, but he sort of persuades it away, and he's like, I would rather trust 1,000 men and lose by one than never trust again. It's like, you should have just got a bi-monthly report or something, shouldn't you? Just see how your stocks and shares are doing. That Batmobile's going up in price for Neymar. Oh, he described Neymar Jr. as a very average player as well. Good boy, Pelé. Good boy.
He's got beef with Ronaldo, not Cristiano.
Ronaldo alone, but you mean Brazilian Ronaldo, right? Yeah.
He's got beef with him because he talked about his personal life, and Ronaldo said Pelé should keep his nose out of it. I remember reading a thing before that Philippe Scolari said that if you want to know what to do in football, ask Pelé and do the opposite.
That's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it really. He goes to play for Cosmos, which we know, of course, himself and Carlos Alberto, as you said. They go to New York, and he lived in New York then. He's kind of, as a citizen of the world, he was, and this is how the Escape to Victory came about as well, because that was a Warner's film, so that was part of that. And Sylvester Stallone wanted to score the winning goal. He insisted on scoring the winning goal in that film, and they said, well, Sylvester, you were playing goal. It's not really, although is it that hard? Goalkeepers do score. What about Jimmy Glass? That's what Sylvester Stallone should have said.
Yes, he should, but he didn't have an ability to look into the future. But yeah, he got his finger broken by Pelé. He tried to save one of Pelé's shot and broke his finger. So there you go. In your face, Sly Stallone. I used to like him. I don't know.
And he became Minister for Sport, the first black minister in the history of Brazil. Now, given the amount of black people in Brazil, I found that very surprising.
Astonishing. I wasn't surprised. But there you go. That's the world for you, Johnny. Yeah, Brazil has more black people than any other country apart from Nigeria, apparently.
Yeah, there you go. And he was the first minister. So he was minister for sport. He claims that he brought about the Bosman equivalent in Brazil, and he set up these, I guess, municipal sports clubs in Brazil. But then their funding got pulled.
He was devastated to learn that a lot of Brazilian politicians were corrupt and were in it for themselves. This came as a shocking revelation to him. Very naive man, a very sweet, naive man.
But okay, Al, shall we talk about his lustful ways?
Okay, well, let's see. Yeah, that's it. Well, say we're in the cosmos. Here's a quote. Being in New York, I still had these crazy hormones. Oh, they hadn't gone away. So here we go. This is what we've been dancing around. He is a horny motherfucker, old Pelé. Just so horny. Everyone gets it. He comes across the Swedish girl that he met later in life. And she comes up with his daughter, and he's like, oh, she's sexy too. Shh, don't say that, Pelé. And then he goes on like, I'm sure one day if she has a kid, she'll be sexy too. Shut up, Pelé, shut up. But yeah, he was all over it. He was all over it. He had a child with his maid, which was very unlucky because he only had sex with the maid once. Oh, and she conceived on that one occasion. How naive do you think we are, Pelé? If you'd believe it, maybe, but just the once I slipped and my dick fell in the maid and then she got pregnant. Unbelievable. Yeah, he has this relationship with a lady called Jusha. And she is still a massive celebrity in Brazilian TV. And she used to be like a dancing girl, sort of like a Playboy model, but he took her and introduced her to TV executives. She was 60. She was only 16 years old. Only 16 years old. But she remains a massive star. When I was in Brazil, we were watching it. Saturday night TV. She's like a Cilla Black sort of character from the past. My then girlfriend said, she is so much more famous than Pelé. So much more famous than Pelé. I was like, really? Like, she's like the most famous woman in Brazil.
Mm.
He's also like, not everyone gets to go out with beauty queens. No, you did with, what's her name? Disa Nunes. She was 17, you were 44. Classy.
Yeah, wow. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, his ex-wife, he eventually divorces Rosemary, and she writes a book. I think it was like, and he's very disappointed by that. And then his maid writes a book, The Child the King Didn't Want, and he's also disappointed by that. Yeah, he says he's got 7 children, but I think he could have fucking hundreds, like hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah. Oof. There was a guy in Ireland. There's quite a nice story. There was I think he was Cuban, and he was flying a plane that crashed. This was in Ireland in the 70s or 80s, and it crashed in County Cork in a place called Mallow, which is a small town. And he was fine, you know, he crash landed, and he had to get the plane fixed up, but they had to build a runway in Mallow before this guy could leave, you know. And actually, the fella who designed the runway, the engineer or whatever, happens to live near me. This is how I know this story, but this is a well-known story in Ireland anyway. But apparently that fella left a lot of illegitimate children in Mallow before the good people of Mallow built him a runway and he could get the fuck out of there.
Thank you, mate. When you say he was Cuban, some suave, gorgeous Cuban lad crashing his plane into 70s Island. I've never seen the like, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go. So that was Mallow.
Yeah, so that's it. So he plays the old Cosmos. He enjoys himself out there. He's doing a good job for America. If you want to hear about that, listen to our recent episode. And then, how can he doesn't want to be a coach at all. No interest in doing that. But he does want to make money.
He really has no interest. I think maybe you can't imagine Cristiano being a coach, can you?
No, or Messi.
I think their horizons are bigger than that, you know? And maybe that's the same for Pelé. He thought he was just going to be a business behemoth. Like he was the face of MasterCard. And if he wasn't just constantly squandering his money, maybe he could have been. But he wanted to be a brand. And I guess he had that kind of idea, that vision then. And I guess that's, you know, what will Cristiano be doing in 10 years? Playing football. But, you know, what would these guys be doing? Just making crazy money. And I think that's what Pelé wanted to do.
And here's a list of some of the brands that Pelé supports. Puma. And he was paid $1 million. You read this. He was paid $1 million by Puma in 1970. But the deal was every time before kickoff, he'd have to do up his shoelaces. So when the cameras zoomed in on him, they'd now have a nice picture of his Puma boots. Puma, Subway, Fly Emirates, VW, Pepsi, Amex, Viagra, Louis Vuitton, Hublot watches, Galazzo energy drinks, Samsung, and Pelé Cafe, which astonishingly, when Saddam Hussein was dug up from his bunker, he had a pot of Pelé coffee in there with him. So, wow.
According to Pelé.
According to... You can't just make that up, though, can you? I mean, there must be some record of that, like, yeah. What was I going to say? You know, he had a Forest scarf in there with him as well, you know, a whole Saddam Hussein. Big Forest fan.
He said that he had a bag of cash. Was it like an AK-47 and a box of Cafe Pelé? Which, if you have no water, must have been really, really a pain in the ass. Just to carry around this box of, like, you know, freeze-dried.
He just had to be alert, though, didn't he? He was just eating granules, like, just to keep him away.
Well, he's
so Yanks come sniffing.
He doesn't look alert when they pull him out of there.
Yeah, so there he is, eh? I mean, a decent egg, a horny egg, but a good guy.
Yeah.
I like Pelé more now than I did before the book. I started reading the book.
Yeah, but it started with the Cosmos book, right? He came across in that as a decent guy. We didn't know he was quite as lascivious as we now know him to be. But yeah,
everyone was horny in the old days, right? Because you could get away with it. It was fine. Like, did you know back then they didn't have camera phones, Johnny? So you could get away with murder.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, I like Pelé more. I think the book was pretty lame, but I still like him more.
Yeah, the book did exactly what it said on the tin. It certainly wasn't an interrogation of his lifestyle, but I guess I did know everything about Pelé, really. He played his whole career for Santos. He played for New York Cosmos. He won 3 World Cups, and then he went around the world telling everyone they were going to win the World Cup.
And he doesn't
And
have erectile dysfunction.
he does not. He does not, to his dying fucking day. Here's a quote I'll leave you with. This is a quote from Pelé. Nick Barmby is up there with Zinedine Zidane, Paolo Maldini, and Ronaldo. I look for crazy quotes. That's the craziest one I could come up with. Like, Nick Barmby.
You tell me he didn't want to go into coaching with a night like that.
You know, he can spot talent, man.
Yeah, okay. How many Cafe Pelés would you give this out of 5?
I would give this 3 illegitimate children out of 5 illegitimate children.
Yeah, okay. I was going to give it 2.5, but I think I will give it 2.5 because that is my standard thing. 2.5 illegitimate children out of 5.
I often wonder how these rating systems rate. What did I give Keith Gillespie's book? I probably enjoyed this more than Keith Gillespie's book, and I suspect I gave it more than 3. But there you go. Yeah, 3 illegitimate children. Yeah, that's it. That's Pelé for you. Really good at football. Really, really randy. And I dispute 1,280 goals.
This book was part of our World Cup series from the Dynamo Football Book Club. So next week we have a 1950s draft. Who do you think you would pick first if you win the coin toss?
I think we should do a snake with that. So if you win the coin toss, you get the first pick, but then the next person gets to pick twice, and then it goes back to you. So it gives you a bit of a thing because, yeah, we all know who's going to get picked first in 1950s, don't we? We all do. Yeah, I know, fucking Bobby Charlton. All right, well, thank you very much indeed, folks. If you enjoyed this, please leave us a review and a 5-star rating, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you very much, Al. Bye-bye.
Pelé. He's still searching for the ultimate goal. And indeed, Pelé continues that search. Against Miami, he once again reached the heights, somersaulting through the air to score spectacularly with a bicycle kick.
Last question. Thank you very much indeed.